I want this week, it's going to be a unique shiur. It's not the standard shiur which we had all the weeks. The next shiur which we're going to continue, was going to be, as I said, Pas Akim and Bishul Akim, which is a Sach Halochas, but I just wanted to bring to the attention a thing which is very important, and I feel it needs to be addressed. The Indian of commercial kitchens. First, commercial kitchen means moisdes, chadura and yeshivas, which is there's a big awareness lately on this issue. Sai by Inse Chabad, which there's a ma'arbet has to make a standardized system how all the moisdes should work, and people should be able to advise them. Sai in the Oilam Haruchov, which didn't used to be yeshivas kashas, but now it's getting more and more because there's a lot of problems. It is complicated. Sai in Butei Chabad, which trace the Butei Chabad, a lot of them became restaurants, became simcha zals, became selling food. And B'chlal, since again I got involved the last 6 to 7 weeks in the deli over here in order to take over the hechsher, so I got more and more. What in commercial kitchen, I want to bring the Nekidas Advuram. What issues has to be, why you have to be on top of these things, and how to avoid it in these kind of things. That's the Nekida. Now, loy harai, a private house, which is somewhere alucha, ad eigen nemen bij Yisirim. Yisirim. A person goes to a Yid, you knock on the door, sees a from a Yid, as michzik be kashrus, he tells, you want to karai here for Shabbos? Yes, you could come be my guest. Is alucha ad eigen me Yisirim. He says everything is kosher, it's a house, it's not an issue. You have to, you could rely on him. Chazal, Toirish, Chanurich, get him on amonas, that you could rely on it. That's the halacha. You're going to somebody's house, and he says this kosher. I feel of zicha. Yeah, as I zoekt kosher, hat es a kashrus, an amonas. Be'etzem, in a beoifen wie a mensch sells products, we do the same thing. Nehmen besieren, is kosher. He's involved in it, and but the problem is, as when it comes into selling Sachen, once it's not your private house, you start selling it, have problems. So about over 450 years ago, is eine von der TkunasAvad Arbarutzes is given, and I'll read the Tkuna. It's the same. The famous Basil and Shechanurach Sof Simas Hamachai brings down also this Tkuna. In they Zayim angefiert, as nobody could sell items for the public, only when he calls it, the Basil calls it a kashas brivu. In the Tikkuns doesn't say these words, but I'm going to tell you the allusion. The Kunas Arba roots is this again, it's about over 400 years ago. You go at Kuna, Shiachrizi, Bekol HaKilas, you should announce in all the Kilas, Shlayase Odom Gewinner, Bechema, Bakfurim, Limkeres Yehidim, you shouldn't sell milk products, Bora, which people had cows, people had private animals, and they wanted to sell it. Till he comes first for the avad, for the av bezden shaloi. V'oisa harav, that rav, the rav of the ear, yachker achem asai, will look over after how is he doing it. Im hugeni, if he himself is a hugen. V'yitem beyude ksav v'chusam, and he will give. That will give a ksav, chsima, that is okay. Mishayni,
on the person or on the process?
Du steigt, he's going to yachker achem masayhu. On him, on the person, yeah, im hugeni, Pashas is a elchayid, v'yit im yudik ksav v'chusam, mishayni yidir levenik l'rav, lo yitin l'rav rishis. If the Rav does not know, if this man is a Yerushalayim, he cannot give him a kashrus, etc., and therefore he cannot buy from there. If chol mukam, if chol yerid, yivdiki, when you're going on yerid, you're going on a mukam, whatever, yivdik achar ha-moichrim haitem, im yesh bidum ksav rishis. Von dort hat sich ungeheuben the ganze Indian of gave a kasha certification again 400 years ago. The bacilla brings a little bit different dilution, much stronger. I'm not boidig zan tak kennen the product same sie macht das. That's the bacilla, the famous in Shechanurach. Sofsim is samacha yerdaya. Over there, it started the whole concept of giving a cash. Why? Because once it started giving it for the public, then it has a different when you're in the house. And as I mentioned, I think I said it over here, I don't remember if I said it or not. There's a story of one of the Admoirim, which there was a chassid, used to bring him wine, and used to give wine on the tish, used to give it to drink on the tish, and everybody drank of it. He was manad but the tish, they used to stel van, and he used to be manad, and everybody would drink. The Rebbe used to drink. And the chassidim started seeing that he makes good wine. He started asking him that he should sell the wine for you. Should sell. So he started selling him his wine, which he made. So he started selling it. Next time he brought for the Rebbe on the table wine, the Rebbe didn't drink. Okay, I thought maybe it's now the Shabbos. It doesn't. See, Shabbos he saw that something is. He went over to the Rebbe and asked, "What my high?" He says, "Till now you made wine and you brought me. Now already you're selling it." So it says, well, I'm selling it. It's my wine, which I made. The minute you are selling it, you have to have a kashrus. You don't have a kashrus, I cannot drink it. And that's why I didn't want to do this. Alles nimmt sich von denen Kinder. In the Remu bringt es rub. By the way, this which I said, is a Remu. Remu is immer kifites, kifites, that man darf man Remunas, man darf kennen a kashrus, so to speak, so don't hype sich von den Kinder. Now, why is it like that? That's, again, since you start selling it, hype schoen gears. But today's day is a much different world. Today's day, b'chalal.
1 second.
Yeah.
Before today's times.
Before today's times.
This Takanan lasted?
This Takanan lasted, always.
Every 100 years ago, there were no ashkochas.
Father, a butcher had ashkocha, a wine had ashkocha, all these things. Father, no products on Shat Kashkocha wasn't commercialized. But father, there's not such thing as wine or the cheese or a meat always was avada. I begin as avada. They had to show the moving down. If you didn't show the chalaf, and the chalaf this had to get a ksav kabula, and this even angeführt. The Esther is over Yerushalayim. Exactly. Yeah, Yerushalayim. Yeah, warte nicht, weil again, because today's day we give a shayram on anyone, at least as the system is good and you have a mashgich inside, so therefore it could replace the Chalig Yerushalayim. The Rigisaboisim, by the way, the Rigisaboisim in his sefer, Kuhn Rabbi writes for the Tzelem Ruf was a big bamach, the first bamach in America, and he made Cholav Yisroel, the Friedrich Rabbi you eat. I'm reading the first Chassidish. And yeah, but the booster is like my means as it right. A kaponam, so he writes, his father writes, I'm by sabu for his children, I don't want you should give a hechsher only on a balbos, with the balbos line is Yerushalayim. That means, but if you have all this mashgicham and you are on top of it, I don't want you should give someone which is not a yid and Yerushalayim. And I don't know if Tzedem Ruf did it l'maisa because could be yes, because the golden flow was from a yid. Pupu Ruf didn't want to give anything which has nothing to do with this. So that's why it wasn't too big in kasha. But it's impossible. Today's day, it's impossible. Everything became globalized, so automatically every food became globalized. That's why everything became very systematic and complicated. We all think, for instance, we all think oil, which could be oil. Shemazais, what could be Shemazais? Shemazais, you take oil, you squeeze it, you have Shemazai. It doesn't go like that. It doesn't work like that. Shemazais goes a whole process. Even the clean Shemazais. In order you should take out every drop. There's chemicals which you put in. There's emulsifiers. There's all kind of things which you put in. You put it in the store in chuvias. You store it in tankers. Everything today is complicated. So that's why everything has to be a hechsher. But the do zachen, which we could rely. This called it in oil makashas. It's called a schedule A. Whatever it is a schedule A, it's nafish kashas b'chal. Salt, andere Sachen. But I will zurück mehr. Yeah, weil consumers are demanding it. That's why. Consumers are demanding. The consumer want, weißt du, wir können nicht anbringen, nicht anything which doesn't have a symbol. Which is weißt du, sie wollen. Okay, das den kids da durem. Now we know, basically, that kashrus is basically the Yisod for Yiddish Shtib. Pashat the Yisod is why? Because when you eat, it becomes eitzim atzuma, it becomes blood, dam, b'sura, and therefore, if dem steigt, as if you eat dvurim asirim, is metamtam as a lev. You know, I feel like this is even if you ate it beoigig or bescheuigig, boinas, be'etzim is metamtam as a lev. Yisem Nikidoishim goes in Kashas Achille. There's a letter from the Rebbe, in Chayli Yitchetz, the Rebbe writes like this, B'chral hidra machulam, as is stated a lot of places, negai lo rak l'shmiras ha-mitzvahs, ki ma'achashik b'kol ma'achal nasa lachem kem adami bos. Since from all the food it becomes flesh and blood, and the guf, which is makashim and anashuma, so a kashrus has to be is mashpia oifi of the neshama, of the guf, and the midas toivas. So therefore, every kol tois sefes behider, is lusha from the Rebbe, kol tois sefes behider, adinas v'toir amachel, hilamasa toises beitzav, v'shipper oifi amidas. Any chimre and any hider, which you're going to put in kashrus, it is a toisves and a hider, and your push it of the nefesh, of the gift, so an idol, mehr begedisha. So now, I want to go over more what complications goes in. And again, I'm talking about not necessarily companies. Poshet, you have a chabar house. You have a cheder, a yeshiva, which you have. And we have to realize what's going on, what entails all these things. Which the time which I'm involved, the problems which happened, was Baruch Hashem hat gehabt Sachen, aber akapunam, the kids that wurden is, lav gedu, andere Plätze, aber akapunam, wo sie can umkommen, how do you be on top of it? Basic Sachen. And a lot of things which we're going to talk now, we could apply Poshni Shtibochet. Is the first thing we have to know, whenever there's a kitchen, especially when there's a kitchen which has milchiks, fleish is a part of it, like a cheder, a yeshiva, which they have breakfast, lunch, and supper. So they have a milchige matbach, they have a fleischige, they have a part of the stuff too. First of all, they have to make sure that the separation of the kitchens are separate. Because it's very easy that a pot or a tray or a spoon or whatever it should be is mixed together with the chule. So first of all, every commercial kitchen has to be very simplified. That has to have colored. Everybody has to be color coded. Red is for fleshig, blue is for milchig, yellow or green, whatever, depends which color you like best. One of these is sparva, and has to be mamash on top, somebody who's on top, make sure that when it stays like that, because sometimes by washing the dishes, the mixerai, because they use something for parva, they use something for milchigs, you have to be separate, pushed weggestellt, that it is basically color-coded, and to assist them how to wash it, how to clean it, how to put it away. It shouldn't, in a kitchen where it's one big kitchen, which usually it should not happen, and even though big kasher organizations are very strict against it, cannot be even it's a big kitchen as big as this room, and half of it is milk, half of flesh, they won't accept it. It has to be a mechitza, portion, because if not, it's very easy to go through von einem und zweiten. Now the second step is you're putting on a chabar house, let's say wants to have now a new kitchen. He's going to make simchas, he's going to make, by the way, ich will start sagen, that there's a new protocol which came out, I would say 3/4 of a year, also from the national kasher organizations, which is a whole list, which they want to, how they're going to do it, but they want to make us every kiddush which is in the shul, has to be auch mit the protocol. Because again, people bring from stuff, does everybody wants to eat from everybody's house? You don't know what's going on over in this other house. So, it's up on a weggestellt for where you could buy a list from, let's say, finnaf caterers which you could buy, which is also a very reasonable thing, because if not, people buy stuff which not what I buy, might as well somebody else wants to rely on it, and the same vice versa. Now, when you open a new kitchen again, it has to be color coded, as I said. Second, we have to make sure, which is obvious, you have to make sure that all the kelim are toivelt, because, you can't use things which are not toivelt. One of the biggest important things is, who buys the stuff? Who orders the stuff? Who calls in Bertram? Who calls in the distributor, quality, whatever, the big companies which distribute a lot of stuff? Who calls? You have to have the guy, a mashgiach, or somebody who is in charge, which is he calls in the product and it tells exactly what product he wants and from what hechsher he wants. Why? Because a lot of distributors have all kinds of hechsherim. A lot of companies who make items have two kinds of hechsherim in their own company. That means a higher quality in kashrus has one hechsher, and a schwacher quality of kashrus has a schwacher hechsher. Also is Zayr Sach comment has like this. So therefore, when you order from this company, you order, let's say, from Geffen, I wouldn't say, because Geffen is everything on the same Balmasher. But when you order, there are companies which sushi, for instance. Yeah, for sushi, the company who makes sushi maiven, they have a same brand, a different brand name, the same company, which is a schwacher, it doesn't have has one of the national kashrus, and it's not acceptable with a lot of things. So you have to make sure who orders is. And the second of all, when you deliver, you get delivery, if whatever you delivered is taking deliver what you ordered. Because you could ask for one thing, they can send something else. For instance, the bagel, the deli now asked, I told them they should ask for wraps, which is mazoinis, because most people do not know that the wraps was hamoitzi. But boy, when it came, we checked the box, and something geschickt was hamoitzi. And I saw, well, bestellt mazoinis, und kippen hamoitzi. That even after they deliver it, it's your achrais to check over what you got. You might get one item, you got something else. I know a story of einer von unserer chassidische Moisdes, somewhere, which they ordered chule v'srol cheese, and they got a box, not chule v'srol cheese. They don't know how much. So, happens to be, I know the guy who works in that company, and I asked him, what's going on? He says, listen to me. We distributors, we tell it constantly. It's not our achrais. We make mistakes. We have all kind of stuff. A guy could take from one pallet, put it on the second, on the truck. You have to have a mashgiach. You have to have a mashgiach, which looks over every stuff, and you make sure you got what you got. It's not, zoomer klur. Once it's not what you get, send it back. But the can't give it to me tanas. I remember a story that Pesach, a Chassidish company made a Pesach product, and they have Chomas product and Pesach product. And a company ordered Pesach product, and by mistake, one box was a Chomasik, was Chomasik. So it was a big balagan. So I heard from the guy, the company, the owner of the company. I was once sitting by Hassan, and he said, I'm telling, zelbe. You have to have a mashgiach by delivery. So a company which have a pallet like that, a pallet like different. You have a mashgiach which make sure whatever you delivered, this is what you got. Because if not, mistake happens. Kind of might not do intention, but a mistake happens. So that's a very important thing as a company should look, a mashgiach should look and see that you got what you got. Ich will even mehr. It's a bisschen avle from gewisse companies, which have the same product, with the same label, which one has a hechsher, one does not have a hechsher. Or one have a chassidish hechsher, and one does not have. One could be chule v'srol, and one cannot be chule v'srol. It says chule v'srol or not chule v'srol, but it's the same label. Most of the people, even in a store, a grocery store, it can happen. Most people don't know. They see, they know the label. So again, in a house, it's the same thing. When you go out, and you buy stuff, you gotta look every time you buy. On the fame, there's one good cautious chat, which most of the Bala Machshir are over there. So constantly do, so people can send in and ask questions. So they ask, this used to have a OU, doesn't have OU now. So one of the OU representatives writes, correct. You have to look every time if it has OU. Sometimes you don't approve. They change the ingredients. You have to be on top and look at things. So therefore, a place which is a commercial zach, must have a mashgiach, which he should be on top. He should order, and when you receive, you make sure that what you ordered, you got. The same thing will also go after you ordered already. You looked everything. You have to go. The mashgiach has to go through the stock room, the where you store your stuff. You began the stuff and see if everything is as if it's after zan. Again, you might find items which you don't like or doesn't have hechsher. Because so therefore, that's a vital thing. And again, this is a film achayde. the kim ksider gshairen items, you got to be on top of it and look at everything what's going on. The next step, for instance, fish. Yeah, people buy fish. Now fish, I'm going to say a thing which I said it already last year, and a lot of people opened their eyes. Yeah, you approve. Yeah, I say, yes, you could buy fish by Aldi's, you could buy salmon fish which have the skin. It's not a problem to have with you buy there. Now I know some Chassidische Rabbunim are against it, but again, according to the Alter Rebbe holds anything which is darkoil lishtoif, the side that is that you rinse it. Fish usually is decided to rinse it. So also, again, you have to rinse it. And kedai, when you rinse it, you should have a brush, should wash it in the sides. Some people are machmer to cut off a tiny drop. Because if they used a knife which had before the cup. But if they have skin, it's not a problem to buy it. And then you remember, I said the first time I said it for Mendy Fisher when he was in charge. I was like, yeah. He said, what? You approved? Yeah. I don't say it. Alter Rebbe halt him make. Andere willen tanen, maar dat mag maar zijn. Met dat mag maar zijn, niet mag. A drop around, yeah, or with a brush is also unique. But again, you have to make sure it has skin. If it doesn't have skin, du hast sich schon am Achleukes zwischen the Kashas organizations if you're allowed or not. The OU were allowed, the MK, a lot of organizations will not allow it, and all Chassidische will not allow it. A very simple thing. Because even salmon, so people will say, salmon is red, so how could you have a non-kosher fish? The answer is, the salmon which we have is red, is also fed, that it should become red. It's, it's not natural red. They feed. There are some fish, there are 3 fish to jar, which one of it is non-kosher fish, which when you feed them, that food will also be red. Now, will you say, it says salmon that, yeah, Chitz mit dem, was der Rambam tan bechlal, der Abschitz der Rambam ist, als am mitzvahs esse der Reise, levade, zu sehen, kicken auf das Amun. So again, a Chassidische place will not allow fish without skin, even the big ones, there is a lot which will not, there are some which will not allow, there are which we do allow, and ich do, in Duber Hashem, people ask, and even Shalom, I see when he answers, he's not around, Shalom? Shalom also when he answers on the King's Kasha that you shouldn't buy without skin. Well, and again, because it is
fruits and vegetables.
No.
Platters that they sell.
No. Peiris is doch derich klar. Weil they don't use what you use for chazed, they use for fruit and vegetables. Usually you use it for fruit and vegetables. You could buy, if it's geschnitten rein, nothing without any those. Watermelon cut and kein issue. Watermelon cut is kein issue. Well, what? Fresh. Finished, yeah.
When I look for the action of the item.
On the?
When I look for a hechsher in the item,
I don't know. Der Rambam sucht dort auf Heime Chayv auf. Nein, weil es Medaik in der Luschen Teure. Der Medaik von Luschen Teure, man darf boidig sein, man darf livdig Simone Kaschens. Aber ich bin mit...
So when I check to make sure it's kosher.
Yeah, if you check the fish, yeah. If you check for the vegetables, not. Yeah, I mean, what did he ask?
If you buy gefilte fish, I check, there's a hechsher.
No, fish nicht, weil fish hast du nicht gehabt. Hast du Kiksches auf der Simone? Gefilte fish is ground.
That's what I'm saying, it's not good.
Nein, darf gegeben, ja, fish of fly, ja, so ist es dran. What? What do you mean frozen?
Fresh fish, frozen with skin.
Anything which has skin, hast du the Simone, you could look. Okay, so?
No, it's gross.
But what? Is it salmon, plain regular salmon?
Salmon, whatever, some sort of a tilapia frozen in the bag.
And it has the skin. Ich weiß nicht, weil Käse frozen, frozen enough mit sich, ich mache China oder nicht. They have chemicals which they make when they freeze it. They freeze it right away. So in China weiß ich, du hast issues wegen dem. That's why in China, whenever they send Mashgichim in China, they send double Mashgichim. Because in China, they can say, yeah, exactly, protocol, there's no protocol, there's no mirses, in China, there's no mirses. In America, American company hat noch eine gewisse decency. But they go, but China ist die Sache. So ich meine, es dort frozen, ich kann mir wahres an die Sachen. Again. What? See frozen tilapia, which has the skin, so we can have
Any fish, any frozen.
Whatever, frozen.
Bags, like,
Mistaber is the local ones that we can, but again, there's Sachen nach dem Fragen. What?
Why would the local ones be better?
I don't know. Fresh ones is oi me wascht das up, geht, hat nicht geschimmt. Frozen darf man wahr sein. Okay. Second of all is,
What was it, the red fish? I don't know. Is it a red?
no, people want to rely on salmon without skin because it's pink. So it's for sure salmon. Those. Another thing is we have to know is in the stoch the guy stuck in the house, you have to have, whenever you get a delivery or you buy something which is that means wine, fish, meat, has to have two chesumas. In order to you should be able to use it, you have to have two chesumas. If a guy delivered you a box of meat which doesn't have two chesumas, you cannot eat it. A Yid delivered it doesn't have chesumas. A guy delivers you a box of meat. If David Elliott, for instance, forgot to pack it, with their packages, they send you, put in and they send it without chesumas, you have to throw it in the garbage or send it back. If it is a Issa D'Rabunan, which is milk, cheese, has to have one chosam. What is the chesumas or not? We're going to talk about the shir of chesumas and chalig alucha. What is considered chosam, what is not considered chosam, but again, it has to have chesumas. If it doesn't have chesumas, you cannot eat it. So, it's nicht kushet. Pushet zu kunish kushet, darfst du wegwerfen. I mentioned the story, I think I mentioned it over here. I mentioned the story, there was a shliach in New Jersey, which ordered a whole simchas Torah from a caterer to give for his chabar house, simchas Torah, shmina tzeres, and it came without chesumas. He calls me up and tells me, what do I do? So, how are chesumas? So give me a few minutes. Ich will mal eins anziehen. Ich habe es hätte, man. Aber gut, das nicht kann stam, to say it's awesome. Charim gesicht, I worked on it. Ich habe nicht gesehen kein Hatter, so ich habe gesehen, ich kein Hatter, call on the Mashgiach for the Platz, after they can call to the Mashgiach, he calls me back, the Mashgiach said, you got to do what chesumas, throw it in the garbage, you can't use it. Ich habe nur gehabt. Mashgiach, throw it in the garbage. Chesumas in the garbage. Wo steht mir jetzt? Warte in garbage, but so it happens to be. So we came on an idea that it was almost before closing, the caterers were closing the stores in Muncie. So I told him, call up Glaubers, they finished, the guys said, for 2 days, whatever leftovers, they'll even give it to you for free. So this is what he did. He called up Glaubers, and Glaubers says, no problem, take anything what you need. I'm closing shop, take anything you need. He had the Yid, it was from Muncie to New Jersey, it was about half an hour, 3/4 an hour. He sent it over, but the God was here, and everybody hold, do something off in the garbage. Kim's uchasumas, is a problem. So this is auch the Sache. You get a delivery. Also kommen a delivery von a distributor. Man hat vergessen zu machen doing Kingston, hat man den Mann gefragt, a Schale. Bekommen a delivery von Fleisch, nicht von du, bekommen a delivery von Fisch. A delivery von Fisch, in what is like the front of his house, he wasn't at home. So it's right in front of us. Wo soll man hin? Ja? Als umgekommen 10 Minuten später, what do you need to do? Okay, dort mir gewinnen a Zeit hätte, was ich nicht lange geht. Dort mir gewinnen a Zeit hätte, was ich kann da anlegen. Aber the concept, den Kids will rausbringen ist, has to have chesumas. In a Mashgiach has to be on top of it, and make sure they has chesumas. The same thing is also with milk. Milk, that's one of the reasons I always say, people have a mistake. When they go in rest areas, and they have dvash milk, or gonflow milk, if it's open, you cannot use it. You cannot use it. The first person who opens the bottle can use it. The second person, and he has a reason why to be this. If he runs out the Chol Yisroel, he knows he has constantly Yiddish customers. Why shouldn't he take goyish milk and put it in the vending? You finish going, put it on nice. The first one it opens is a anders. Ja, aber ist nicht kein Issue. Nicht kein Issue. Weil muss Interesse hat zu machen, nicht kein Milch. Dort hat Interesse, macht Geld dafür. Aber der Goy, was Interesse hat zu, sagen wir klar, aber Goy hat nicht Kassibe, auf zu kennen machen, will ich sagen, hat getauscht, reingelassen. Das ist nur riesig.
Cleaning lady in the house.
Goyische Glieder, ja, aber dort hast du dort nochmal, das ist ein extra Shit, wir müssen reden auf dem Sache, weil du hast Sach-Probleme, und ich kann nicht suchen, klar, future of them, ich sehe mir Kiefi-Test, ich kann noch, Kiefi-Test, größte Probleme, serious problems, but poil mamash, you cannot have a cleaning lady when you're not at home. Koim is do a problem für ich het keile. If you leave alle deine keile, was der erste Problem. But notice if you cannot align it. It's do videos, guide darin, wo es Menschen haben umgesucht von der Nannies, der tun nicht in the kitchen, in der Team, wo sie will. Sie cleanen noch auf, sie nehmen raus ihre Sandwiches, sie waren so weiß, nicht mal, Sandwich makers, Panini, mit kann sich verlassen, alle Interessen zu kennen, wo sie will. They want to be comfortable. So, Mamaila is extra, aber das extra, ich will nicht so lange in the kid. Second one, which you need in a commercial one. What?
You just mentioned it, but the coffee shop, you're allowed to buy coffee anywhere?
If it's a coffee shop, which is basically, a coffee machine, which has no milk involved. Starbucks. Nicht? Starbucks und Flavors? Das ist kein Issue. Ich darf wissen, in Starbucks, ich habe letztens ein Erik. Bei euch in die Kräune?
Gas stations. No, I'm saying washing.
Starbucks. Starbucks is ook een restaurant. Dus kan zijn een probleem. Aber in ook Starbucks heb ik jetzt am ook gemacht an Ashini etwas. I heard lately, so gemacht etwas Ashini, and that's why they took over the action on a lot of Starbucks. They made the Ashini also with Sachen. Aber Starbucks is a gasoline station. Yeah, which has the coffee machine with some do, which has no. Usually, washing is a kleiner problem. Usually, washing is mevashas with andere keile. It's the same thing. This is my research. Like about airplanes. Could you drink on an airplane or not? Is the answer yeah, you could drink. Weil sie waschen es nicht in regular keile. Sie waschen es separate. Das ist Sachen, was sie machen extra. Gemacht. Na viele auf Chashash. Is yes more can the follows noch more kaufen a non-flavored coffee in a coffee machine which there's not an issue gisteren again wir da wissen ob sie waschen das it's do companies that stop in the we know how the system is how to wash it so but if you know that he has a hot drive in a restaurant right next to it then can only wash it together but the regular gas station itself close yeah
got a coffee. Spill it a little bit. Take a napkin, like a schmatte, clean it up. And then you say, can you give me a coffee? Take the same schmatte, clean the machine for a second. 1 second before.
Was it hot or cold?
No, schmatte, just clean whatever, cold milk.
Okay.
Not kosher milk. And then he touched the hot machine.
Why did it touch hot machine? He doesn't clean in stomach. Why should it touch hot machine? No, this way, why should he wash it? You wash it, end of the day, you wash it the coffee machine. He doesn't wash it, if you take hot water or the hot coffee, it's nicht keine normale Sache, you should nehmen, wenn es rausgerinnen in a little coffee, why should he take a schmat in
the machine gets stained or splashed, he wants to wipe it off a little bit,
Okay, so alles kalt, aber die alle Sachen sind eine kalte Sache.
The schmat that absorbs everything,
Doesn't clean it when it's hot.
Don't clean it when it's hot. Nochmal, willst machen wir sagen? Jetzt muss man hochgehen. Ich rede aber mit der Freundin Hallukhadik. Hallukhadik ist, ob wascht es nicht zusammen mit anderen Keilen, ob man weiß, dass sagt, hast du keine Nische zu machen. I'm saying it because gasoline stations, but the gasoline stations has closed products, yeah? So, alles treffen in closed products. Dann wascht man eine Coffee machine ob hast du keine Flavor Sachen, it's not a big deal, if zu kennen, noch mal wissen, machen wir sagen, man kann nicht machen, man redet aber heilige Aluche, die gesagt, a Coffee ist nicht keine Sachen. Second of all, which we need in a größer commercial is push bedikestelom. Das ist eine von den major Sachen, was organizations mitchen Sachen. Ist bedikestelom. Because bedikestelom is today's day when there's so much infestation going on in fruit and vegetables, in fruits is also Sache, aber kapur vegetables oder berries, ich durch mit dem in Sachen. Darf man pushen eine, was haben wir no bedikestelom. In bedikestelom is hand eine von den Sachen, was big cash organizations are very in a way as mistug jede a restaurant, there's no such thing if you don't have somebody who is mamin of bedikestelom which goes through a course. This is the first thing was a zoom. You have to have a guy who has a mimchishkeit b'gistum, because if you don't have mimchishkeit in Islam, you don't see anything. Once you get the feeling of what b'gistum is, if you don't know what it is, you see a schmitz. You see it, but you see a schmitz. If you know what it is, you see how the camouflage, all these things, you know exactly which fruit and which vegetable, what color, insect it has, then you gotta see the issue. So b'mayla, the what?
It's all Costco and it's all frozen bags. It's like the biggest joke. It's kosher. It says with the Hebrew, it's like d'kingestaan.
Yeah. Go broccoli. Go with the cauliflower. Go. Not even Roma or leather, so the vice.
It's not ashgach.
It's kind of ashgach. And a chanam, it's not joke.
Figs also, certain figs like from Turkey, every time I open that, I used to find worms. California, worms. You don't have to be a bug. And I don't know how the OU could give ashgach.
There is
Figs, dried figs. Dates is much less.
Today's day, most of the fruit and vegetables which we have now, we have frozen. The frozen ones goes through a riesige process. First, where to buy it, how it was grown, greenhouses, and me futtern in the ganze Welt sichern when it's a clean Sach. But noise of guides durch a riesige, beautiful, nice cleaning system. And therefore, the frozen ones, darf man auch wissen wer, aber a kapunem hand is do a Sach frozen companies which you could have broccoli, cauliflower, strawberries, blueberries, almost everything, everything you could have, which is frozen. And those, Zamachai, those a viele lassen suchen, so Menschen suchen, ich habe gesicht dort, ich habe auch getroffen. Emes. Aber sich treffen, einige bis Amida Mutzi, der Teure ist sich geistig, darf ich heute sein, für den. Der Teure ist mit Amutzi, darf ich heute sein. Ich kann mit Amutzi, if I have an animal which Chodesh Boide given the stomach, which we do it today's day, but let's Chodesh Boide given what did I say? The liver, what? Krima moich. Oh, krima moich. Chodesh Boide krima moich. Es besuchen, sind schon kein Heim, was ist treif? Sie bist du mit du, als ich treif. Aber Chazal sucht mich, ich darf nicht Boide gesagt. Ich darf Boide gesagt, der Reihe, was mit Amutzi, hat immer Boide the stomach, weil sie mit Amutzi. So we say, when you see it's a meat and motzi in my boydik, ich darf nicht boydik, ich darf nicht fremd with the shikhanorach. The same as also do. There are some people who say, I checked frozen, I found. Okay. Ich darf aber nicht schüsse sein. Es ist so einige meat and motzi, finished. So, again, what do you say?
Saying the OU should also go
Okay, so du größt mal kurz, what it mean meat and motzi auch. If it's 5%, if it's 10%, yeah, and genommen. Again, this Uchta, you play with coolers. Yeah. And I must tell you, I spoke today with one of the big organizations, which I'm in contact. I asked him on a gewisse Sache. He tells me, listen to me, we have to be Michael because we give commercial for aggressive companies. But, yes, he told me, yes, mukum, das macht man dann. He told me, yes, mukum lach mir. You know, ich miss, du sagst, was ich miss den. Aber meine, aber ich mir verzeiht, when I was a boch in Salzburg, I had a question in Yeshiva on an item. So who did I call? I decided to call Be'er Levi, Daniel Levi's father. Okay. I called him and told him, listen to me. I'm a Chassidish boch which landed in Salzburg, and they give the whatever. Has it okay? Can I eat it or not? You know, he tells me, you're a Chassidish bocher? I says, yes, don't eat it. For you, I said, yes, that was Don Levi. So I told for that guy which I spoke today on a different organization. I told him this story. I said, you were honest with me.
His son told us to call my father a couple of things.
With Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel.
That they shouldn't. Yeah, a große company at andere Luchas. A große company which has the national company. Is eine Sache. Aber ist doch Chassidisch Ingemann? Nein, ist nicht, don't rely on it, it's a killer. Die Sache ist auch mit okay. All the time. Next. Okay, let me go about it. Another thing which is, but again, was also a guy in the house, when you buy fruit and vegetables, which basically you can buy anything and everything over, but you gotta look if it's not for Netzisrael. Because we lately, nicht lately, it's a while, but lately we had a couple of such shilas. Ich habe gerade eine Schale von einer Frau, ich habe gekocht, die ganze Essen. Ich habe gesehen, I think one of the products was from Netzisrael. So, ich habe gerade ein ernste Issue, what do I do? Nun sagt sie mir, I know I could take famous masses. I know, but do you know how to do it? Tell me how to do it, and I'll follow it. So it's a little bit complicated. It's a challenge I want to learn. I want to, So we gaan rausgeprinten, dus pinklich how to do it. We like that coin met alle Sachen. And shows again with famous masses. But most of the people don't want to borrow it. The what? It was it's my vegetables, nicht fruits. My vegetable gewesen, yeah. My peppers, peppers. Yeah, but there's also tangerines. Bechral is a lot of fruits. Yeah. Again, darf man auch tun einer, was da tap. Das Wort ist eine Kide. The Mensch who is in Koch, there is busy kochen. The person which the chef is in the kitchen, he's busy. He cannot be. Fragt mal nicht the babus bechral nicht dort. He has other business to do. He can't have a do. That's why he has to have a chrais, somebody who's a chrais on top of it. That's why you have the mashgich, which he knows he has to follow the rules, and he has to look at it. That's why I say that you cannot send the goy. You ran out for some food. You cannot send the goy to go to Aldi or to Sam's Club to buy it. You send the mashgich to buy it. But the goy, first of all, I don't want to give him in his head as they can go for somewhere else. Vegetables, in Frankfurt it's not. Or he's going to run out of Frankfurt. He's going to take a Frankfurter too. As we know the story in Boropark. Why is the story in Boropark? He ran out of Frankfurt. He went out in the store and bought 3 Frankfurters. So, lass nicht the goys to kaufen etwas. The Yid soll gehen, soll Meuchel, soll the Maschgiach herausgehen. Das ist nicht haluchadik, aber common sense. Like Yitzchak Hanoka from the OK once told me. A lot of things over here is Alucha maybe you could be it's okay, but you have to have common sense how business works, how a goy should kop trach, and you have to rankriegen in zijn kop and say how we zullen Sachen arbeiten. Then you have the thing of boidig on eggs, which okay, again the mashgich has to do. If you want to rely on a goy, to do itis to rely, the goy should check the eggs, but then you have to give him an incentive. Every blood egg which finds blood, you get let's say $1. In such a case, then hot anamun is hot sibov to can body design. But if you don't have any incentives, then the mashgich should do this job.
I have a question actually on the eggs.
Yeah.
I was wondering about this. Today's eggs, the regular eggs that we buy today. I mean, I know personally, I've checked thousands, and I know that the mashgiach prices 6,000. You almost never, maybe 1 or 2, 3,000, maybe you'll find a spot. That blood spot, it's not real blood, right?
It is real blood. It is real blood. The blood is blood. It's not, I'll tell you what you mean. It's not fertilized.
Okay.
So, an egg which is fertilized, the whole egg becomes osar. An egg which is not fertilized, if you buy another, the non-caged, whatever, don't have some problem. Yeah. But if you buy regular eggs, haluchadik, if you find the blood spot, you take out the blood spot, and the rest of the egg you eat. You can eat it.
But the blood spot itself.
The blood spot is dam. Blood is blood.
When they make liquid eggs, which most commercial kitchens use, how are they eliminating the ones with the blood spots?
They take it out.
They check every.
They check. They have it. Yeah. Or they have, like I mentioned, like they said for incentive. If you see something,
they're not.
That's the what?
The liquid eggs, they don't do it by hand. They do thousands at a time.
Mind the company. Can they verlassen sich as es wird Bootel? Again.
But they
Once it becomes liquid, it's wird Bootel. It's huh?
And why wouldn't the same apply in any?
The shal is.
No, the reason I'm asking this is because I know a little bit about some of the different Hafsherim, what they allow, what they don't. And Bechlal, I've seen that a lot of Hafsherim are a little bit more lenient with eggs today, as long as it's cage-free and not
cage-free. Amos. Se is mekenzan asach melin trei with the eier. Regarding this, because we don't.
Why is that?
Why? Because
if it's a real blood spot.
Because if I didn't check, and if there is, zugich hasevet butel. So you go in butel. If you have in a container, you have 150 eggs. 144. Okay, I was all off with six eggs.
I think.
Okay, so you have more. You have twice shishim or 3 times shishim. Shemamayla, agam einmal isel gitchila, aber habe ich nicht gesehen, bis ich mal isel gitchila.
And the fact that usually you only find, most people that check only find 1 in 1,000. Is that meaningful?
This is auch meaningful. Yes, it is meaningful. I thought you were going to bring up this nekida. This nekida is, Kenzan das heißt Misha eine Mutzi. Kinder schreit mich eine muss in meine Wesen ich darf beide gesagt. Aber für andere passen wir nicht so bald. Du haben so hat man weggestellt und darf beide gesagt. We want to be lenient because Kram weggestellt as a chiv bedika. So insofar will want to be lenient because it's not half of the other has the shchanur causes half of the other. It's not real eggs. So my mother sagen so aber kapunam wer sucht das der nächste Kitchilas guy. Sie do again. Sie do mukem lekana lekan. Again, this is a this is the what?
The egg itself is probably 60 times the blood stuff.
No, an egg is not less. 9.
The whole egg?
9. Shichnur steht dort. The Shichnur hat wegen den Kinder 9. So nicht lauf darf kannst du shishim of the.
You're allowed to rely on a cotton to check the eggs.
Oh, du hast dieselbe Sache. Is it real eggs oder nicht? Not real eggs is lamaasa rein aluchadik. As when at least when is a child was a can boy exam is bescheichelt zu kicken is yes mukem hukl of a child again auch gedait zu geben mein center weil eibig wenn es nicht kann wenn es nicht haben sehr glatig aber ein center lomrins aber yes mukem hukl as the kids a idol a 10-year-old girl which makes this even for bas mitzvah yes mukem hukl am soll lassen yeah. No, זה מה הישור, זה בטח דם זה דם.
חום, שחור.
נכון, דם.
יכול להיות דבר כזה שזה לא דם?
If it's brown, it is blood, you know. זה nicht kamara do. זה חזל המאג של they fin of maras. What is it? Huh? What do you say?
It says 1 egg, come on.
It's 1 egg, come on. You're not today's day when the eggs are $6.99 a case. No.
So basically, you're allowed to just take it out.
Mitzad halucha, you take out the piece. Your wife will not do it because she's going to be but the halucha did, you take out only the bait. You can you take out just this part. The rest of the egg you can eat by a non asaf from the Arabic egg. Yeah. What? No, cage feed. Cage feed has some problems. That's why cage feed you should know it's cheaper. Today's day you could buy it in the big stores. It's much cheaper. Yeah. You could buy it today. The Sam's Club, they sold you 36 eggs, and it came out half price from regular eggs. But remember, a third, sometimes a half, you're gonna have to throw away. So basically,
brown
it's
eggs also have a lot.
which one?
Brown eggs.
Brown eggs. There's also like okay.
Why no hard boiled eggs?
Most times I always
What?
I have to check
The spring.
The what?
Cooked eggs, hard boiled.
No.
We don't check.
Oh, is a zoe. Is do poskim is all a daf check. There are poskim which say that you have to look if you see it. Our poskim say you don't have because it's again bleed what is geworden hart. Oh, but if you check for it and you see a drop you have to take it off. Das darf man gedenken.
So the blood in the hard boiled egg goes off the yellow onto the white. You can see it.
It's on the white. In the boiled cooked eggs is always if you find it's on the white, not on the yellow. Kochigas, but it's in the blitz is eibig of the yellow. Usually you're not going to find it in the yellow. You can only find it on the white. When?
If you see it.
No.
Hard boiled.
What? Eggs, no. If it is regular chicken, what? No, because if you have chickens which in some problem, most of regular eggs is from a chicken which we eat. So there's not an issue. Most of the eggs which you have is regular eggs which are chicken. If you have eggs, something different eggs, darf man wissen, the chicken is a kosher chicken. It's not a chicken. It's the bird is kosher, and then you have a problem with this. Okay, now a few more things.
This is something I didn't check the eggs by the same.
This is what? Rav mentioned, no, most of the people do not check hard-boiled eggs.
That we can learn from?
We can sich nicht lehnen, was der Rebbe getan in der, we can sich nicht lehnen. Lass mal sagen klar. Tzadikim haben extra Ruch, es kommt da sucht Teusfus. Tzadikim haben extra Ruch. Tzadik, wie Tzadik Ruch, wir kennen nicht. Aber la Masse, I'm telling you, as a hard-boiled egg, is in the Shuk Archiv, mit Ikeradim, zu beide gesagt. Yeah. Same without checking. You can see there's a video of it. You cannot born of the Sache. First of all, you cannot born something which happened 50 years ago. It's a big difference since they banned. What is it called? There's a special ones they used to the ban, which since then.
EDT.
What? EDT. DD, whatever. Ich denke nicht the letters, you know, OCD, you know, whatever. Since they start ban then, we have all the problems. When I was a child, okay, when I was a child, there's a lot of things we didn't eat b'chal. There's no such thing as broccoli to eat. In the chassidische Welt, in the fremde Welt, da müssen wir broccoli. Aber b'chal, even then there's much less problems because there was this pasteurizing. But since everybody became healthy, so they banned that, and since then we have problems with strawberries, we have problems with a lot of things because, you know, we didn't have, when I was a child, you used to eat strawberries negative. Since then, somebody on the kasha asked this question, well, what happened, placely? So one of the OU writes over there, since it was DDT, whatever, since they banned over there, most of the problems started coming up. But you don't just remember that even in the Heim, my father's Zang is starting up gesucht. In the Heim, they used to know that cherries they only could eat till Parshas Koirach. They knew from when it came out. It was a mamash just tiny, and they knew Parshas Koirach. You gotta start eating cherries. Well, then from Parshas Koirach, it becomes a festival. Yeah, because it has to do with the weathers too. Also, same as with
eggs. Also in the spring, you have more blood.
More blood, and same as with flour. Flour, sifting flour, the Frau in America is a kleine chiv. To check the flour, to sift it. But there are times which it becomes infested, and then you gotta sift it. But the größte bakeries, major bakeries, do not sift. That's true. They sift here. It's true. You have to sift more because they have Yoshim. And now because for business wise, but it's more the storage is a lot more complicated. How to storage it. So, but today's day in America, when you store it fine, but if it's end of the summer or middle, you know, the hard times when it's infested. You know, I'm saying Nehemiah could attest to those things. There are times when it's more infested when you're not infested.
Harder with pastas. I never bought old pastas because I used to buy it.
Yeah, you could have.
Infested.
Yeah, Al Caponam. So that's the same. Let's not a few more kids which will bring in the kidda is again which we are going to talk more in length next to Shiurim is the Bishlach and Pasakim, which is the most important thing which we need in Mashiach and is Pasakim is the lach because you know what you buy you don't bake but Al Caponam if you do bake you have to have somebody should open the fire. In someone noch kill us, so you open the fire, it's enough. The father haben das auch machine ganzen. But at least Ashkenazim, once you have to make sure you open the fire. If you don't open the fire, after Shalaf and Pasakim, you have an issue of challah. You have to make sure that somebody takes challah. If not, it's devil. So you have to have a mashgiach should be in charge of the challah nema. So is it the pas has to be the challah, and then you have to think and make sure that it is part of it. Because people eat bread, and if it becomes melechix, bread which is melechix to manishes, or bread which is fleisch is to manishes. Only if you made a kleine bilkele, or you made a change, a simon. If not, you have a problem. In Rav Achronim hold that if you made the cake, or you made the challah, which is melechix, a big one, even if you're going to slice it up and give for everybody a small piece, is used one. If he wants to say no, if you slice it up and everybody takes a piece which you can eat, but again, you have to make sure you sell challah, you sell bread, it has to be part of it. Again, all these things is basically posh the sachen. But if you don't have somebody who is on top of it, it makes problem. Because again, the baker, the chef is busy you have to, one final thing is very important. I once said for Rabbi Weissman, he told me, listen, the chef is very proud of Zan Arbeit. He's very proud of it. He's an artist of his work. Art. It's art. And everything he needs his ingredients, he needs his knives. One of the biggest problems which we have in commercial kitchens is, he should leave the knife in the place and he shouldn't take it home. Because they want to have it, they sharpen it, they have their own knives. They should be able to sharpen it. We went LK when we went on a shchita in South America. We had an extra issue. We purchased extra sets of knives. We wanted to know what the goyim want the knives, because they used to take home. We used to take home the knives, which they cut up the meats with alle meine Sachen. I have a problem with it. I was in the meat, so we had to buy separate knives. You have to leave it over there. You have to lock it up. We have to sharpen it. A ganze procedure. a chef that the knife is one of the most important things. Ingredients is one of the most important things. He has to have this ingredient, pick like this ingredients for the company. It's very hard to change his mind. How should I change your mind? I tell you a story which Abba Weissman told me. Very unique story. I once asked him, why did he take off the Hechsher and he stopped giving our restaurants? One time he wrote, as for a Schoidish El, I take over all the Hechsher. I went to, why did he take over? Yeah, the Meshgich Temidi. It's again Heimische Hechsher. Heimische Balabatam, all Heimische. Why did he stop giving up? He told me, I'm going to tell you a story. I walked into a restaurant and I see the chef takes a bottle of oil, which a regular bottle of oil without a hechsher, puts in a food, and it sizzles. You know, oil usually when you put it on the top, it spritzt, it makes a noise. I heard, as you know, it gets a sizzle. Oops, hab ich geschmeckt. Etwas geht nicht vor. Such ich für den Chef, give me the bottle of oil. That's not like a tasche, I weiß nicht. So I want to see the bottle of oil. Ich nehme das raus, ich gebe das auf, he tells me, ich gebe das, open it up, smell it, and wie ich habe es geschmeckt, rief sich der Chef, I know, you don't, you know, I know, but you should know it's a kosher. It rang like Wasserwein. White wine. Sie gewähnen a kosher Wein. Sie gewähnen, wie der Mamachscher ist, a European, in Frankreich. Ich sag mal, when he would have asked me to come with, kann er was gematter gewinnen, das er nützen. Aber er hat mich ausgespielt. He took the white wine, he put it in a barrel of oil, also losging oil, it's yellow. Happens to me, ich bin ping gewesen dort, und ich habe gehört, wie etwas als Wine, habe ich gesagt, also ich habe da eine jüdische Company, eine jüdische Balbus, mit einem Schgichte Midi, und ich kenne schon on top of things, that der Chef, ich nehme da Reis, and he took off all, he doesn't give hand, today's day of Kashim restaurant. Ich kenne nicht. Was meine ich rauszubringen? Der Chef darf oben seine Sachen. And therefore you have to be on top of things. Weil, viel mit dem Maschgiach. Weil der Chef hat sich seine Maschgiach, he needs daf gedeis and daf gejens. And that's why it's a bigger price of a commercial kitchen. Well, he feels proud in his work. And if it's nicht gelungen, he feels it's a failure. The same thing is when the Choshan is Bishlak. A Yid should open the fire, and if the fire was gemacht, a Yid should open it again. Opening the ovens, you know, all the convection ovens. You open the oven, yeah, it stops. If you leave it open for a few minutes, it becomes cold. The guy macht das Zieh. Afterwards, it's Bishlak. So you have to bypass the system. There's so much things today's day involved.
You need to be involved, do everything.
The what?
You need to be involved. Oh, it's for the future thing.
Yeah, whatever is going to buy. Yeah. So, again, ich will rausbringen, just we should understand, als wenn man geht nach Abar aus Iring, oder man geht in a Hotel, darf man wissen, darf man allein Hechscher, in a Abar aus darf man normale Hechscher, oder verkauft commercial food, and Chassan Azaz darf man nachscheiden mit Meshgich Timidis, a restaurant, it's not poshet. So therefore, a chayde. You know how many issues comes up in a chayde? Baruch Hashem, I will tell you, even the chayde over here. We had, B'meshech, I'm here, it was 60 months, we had 3 incidents, which we had childless. Now Baruch Hashem, Chaim Dovid is on top of things, really on top of things. And I have glach, something there's an issue. And he called me, and glach, but he kept us on saying. Ich meine, rauszubringen, in das hast du schon a Yid, was ist on top of alle Sachen. Aber noch mal, goische Sachen, and mistake happens. The problem is not the mistakes. Every place is going to have mistakes. The problem is how you deal with it. How you, so, I will rausbringen, den Kinder. Chretschen nicht, als es kommt over the caterer, and to do Shabbos. The biggest problem for a caterer is the Shabbos. And if du hast nicht einem a feste Mashgich Shabbos, probably you don't eat kosher on that Shabbos. Probably. Because a Shabbos, it was so many issues. I'll tell you a story. Ich kann nicht schon Nummern, aber I'll tell you was ich mich gewesen involved. There is a place which is has a moiset, which also makes simchas over there. Moiset also makes simchas over there. And Shabbos there was a simcha, and there's a mashgiach from one of the big national organizations, a mashgiach, and whenever they prepare food, then is a dort. Sikim Shabbos, is the Yid, was kocht, seht sich, he doesn't have more, enough meat, Shabbos in the morning. He tells for the goy, take out from the freezer food and put it in the oven. Now, it's not going to be akim because the oven was on. Nicht losing an issue. Aber heißt for a goy, the back koch Shabbos. Zug the goy for them kechen, as you're not allowed to do it. The goy had gesucht, a goy to go. You're not allowed to do it. It's Shabbos. Sucht sie, you don't want to do it? No problem. I gang zur zweite goy, and it's angelegt. Sunday, this lady got a pink slip. This goy. She was out, and she called a friend, a Yiddish Arbeiter, who was gearbeitet for 20 years, which was her rangebring, but she's not no more in that dust. Sie hat sich auch gerät von ihr, as listen to me, ich habe verloren meinen Job, was habe ich getan? Ich habe dir gesagt, was mir tun ist. That lady is a Lubavitcher lady. She called me up. And sie verzeiht mir der Maße. Die verzeiht mir die Story, was ist der Vorgang? Mit der Angelegt, in die Goethe verloren den Job. Such ich für ihr, lass mal hören. Ich gehe, such das Story, mach ich das. No, mas gier that you do. My chetaisa is true. You know what she tells me? I worked over there 20 years. I installed a camera system in the kitchen. I have access to the camera. You want? I'm going to send you the was guide for. I have everything. Kuz v'chusa. Shabbos. The good Yiddish dos. Imagine you're a caterer. You have a Shabbos Sheva Baruchas. And something happened to the child. Something happens to the child. You can't look for the case. Here in the boy side, this week, Shabbos Sheva Baruchas, there's no child. There's no child. It was a mistake. It's Chol Fire. I don't know what to do. You know what it means? It's Chabs this mind. Nobody is going to come to this caterer. Well, he loses his job. Now, he's not going to put on the fire. It's Chol on Shabbos. Aber Amir Allah came with the Chlach. He said, for the guy, do me a favor and put it in. What?
The problem there is not issue, it's just Shabbos. But if you're going to commit, you do it for yourself.
Oh, if he baked for himself, that's something else. But over there, he didn't bake for himself. He baked for the...
If you also eat lunch...
Nah, what's happens? Ma piton. The guest from the goy, it's asked him from the fly, and alles Mesidan. What's with you? Well, what's happens? It's Husse. It's Bishlaken. Nicht Bishlaken. It's a goy gemacht haben noch von dir. It's Husse zuerst. I called up the organization, I told her the story, and habe herangeschickt evidence. And they said, they'll take care of it. Sure. Ich will es herausbringen. In der Rettung von Ayid. Von einem Yid, so to speak. Aber kannst du...
How do you know?
How do you know what?
I want to go somewhere for Shabbos. How do I know what's the...
Das bis alles anders das angeht. Aber hast du eine Organisation, eine ehrliche Balmachsche mit einem Maschgiach? Nochmal, sie 100%? Kenn ich 100%, darf sich verlassen, aber ich denke, ein bisschen. How do you know, wenn jeder mich angelangt, sagt er mir immer, noch ist noch steht, ich nicht ein bisschen. How do I know that? Das ist kusher, mach ich das. Aber der Rest ist Gasches. Ist es Tag 100%? Ja, aber das ist damals so. Aber du, bei ihm ist nur so Sache, Business, was verlieren ist am Business, weißt du, was ich meine? In der Bechille Shabbos geht vor in der Sachen, loje immer. Steht in der erste Sache. Steht auf in the free, there's not enough hot water for coffee. No, water for coffee. Also macht das Shabbos, man hat umgestellt 6 pots of hot water. It's okay, hot water. What do you want to do? I'm sorry, no coffee today. Kannst du vorstellen, ein Mann aufgestanden in der Früh, ich kann Coffee in der Früh, fahren da, wie suche ich aus den Jacobson? Don't meet a guy who didn't have a coffee in the morning. You know? So, noch einmal, I radicalize it, and only you should have, als sie du größer sein. In Hirsch, wenn du aber machst, mit einem Schgicht-Termin, darf man rumsagt, das ist mein. But at least you did with the maximum what you could do. Aber Shabbos is a sehr ernster problem. You open up, you put back in the oven Sachen. After opening the warmers, wusste der warmer, der warmers, Chille Shabbos, tussisch öffnen. There's so much things involved in Skimti Shabbos, it's nicht zu glauben. People take off, children want to give at night a bisschen children chaps, but like the Serik, Sachen was denn hier. Chazur is user. Once you make Chazur bedafki is user. Zähnlich gemine Sachen, was kommt daran in den Jungen.
One in Yeshiva, they talk about the chef. That one bachar caught him 4 o'clock in the morning. Or 4, I don't know, 4 or 6. The guy came, he was a Yid. But he wasn't whatever. He came to office in the morning, they checked out his challah, make sure it was good. He came in, he added stuff, changed stuff. Alle schluffen, sagst du.
Alle schluffen. Why did he do? Well, this is his shalom. The pride with they taking their products. This is unbelievable. In my mind, when you look at a chef, can man nicht trosten. Weil, this is ein Leben. This is eine Schumma.
Yeah, but there's an eight, right?
No.
Get a Mexican. The Mexicans don't care. I'm telling you, Mexican, I've worked with a lot of different chefs. The Mexicans are different.
American chef. Mexican chef.
Mexican. No, I'm saying I've worked with a lot of chefs, different kinds of chefs.
Yeah.
Americans.
But you have to have a Mexican chef.
Yeah, I'm saying you need a Mexican. Mexicans, you know.
Today's a chef, tomorrow it can be.
Okay.
A Mexican is more.
Okay, it's a good thing. We have to put it on the papers.
You tell him this is what you do. But the American chef is exactly what he said.
What? Yeah. In this is eine von Sachen, was wir gehen reden. Muss ich schon mal rein. Sag das sagen, was ist du hast. Aber nochmals, du hast auch Killes auch. People, you should know. One of the things which I mentioned before was that they delivered from Scranton fish. Das ist scharf, muss ich schon sagen, nein. Das sag du. Du hast Sach Killes. Nochmal, man darf gedenken, when somebody has a shaila, it's auf fish for Shabbos. You know, now oi min sadaluche kann man machen, there's no Indian to be machbar. So du Menschen, you know, User, weil was sie lacht at say User, I don't have to be schnurren. Say for this guy, ich denke, der Mann hat mich gekallt, ich kann mal nicht, ich will jetzt in Kar, ich darf mal einsagen, aber sie betrachten, ich will dann nicht so User, lass mich trachten. So I went home, I look, Habibi kicked in the Schnurren, in the post, ich habe gesagt, ja, kannst du essen. Und fragt mich doch, are you sure? Sie sind doch gewähnt in draußen. Ich habe gemacht, ich bin verwusst ist nicht kein Problem. Meinst du so, Ruf zu kennen, sagen, User, ist sehr easy. Why not? Rasha sucht dich. Koich in the tire with why? Because, you know, sie sagen User, you don't know, it's User. Aber es ist nicht gesagt. In Shechanur, der Mu sucht, Shabbos, kann man mal gesagt, ja, ist ja ein Bussi Bechulov. Shabbos, Shabbos hat Chag. Shabbos darf man sich rechnen. Man darf sich rechnen mit dus. Chitz, in Kash, das ist, sag mal, du hast mir, darf man sich rechnen. Aber Ravos der Trug hat einmal die Gisot. Ravos der Trug lag nicht zu, und die Gisot sucht, man kann nicht geben, a Kashrus, a Chsimes Kashrus auf B'di'evetz. Man kann nicht. A Sachbus ist a wegstellen, a wegstellen, Kashrus organisieren mit B'di'evetz, das kann man nicht stehen. Sie macht sich ein Issue auf Ade. Sie befährisch. Sie macht sich ein Issue, als sie gewähne eine Company, wo sie gewähne ein Problem. Mit Zeit Haluch ist, heften wir ist es Mitte, das Ruf Matres an, ja? Heften wir immer. The Chazhoifer will tan and Pitzchel Shiva brings it down that you have to tell for the consumer. It's heften wir for you, but the consumer, aber das sage ich halt, aber du sagst nicht. You don't have to say it. Weil if not, ist es schon wieder heften wir because nobody's going to buy it. Aber nochmal, das alles when it happens a problem. So again, I would say, was a problem in das Matter? Yeah, weil ich kann nur sagen, man kann Matter sein. Aber wegzustellen das System elektrisch auf Killers, als wir können sich verlassen auf der Teil, I don't cash eine Bejoim, I cash Bejoim, and I put in some, detergent in it. Was the Alter Rebbe says clear mechanisch, which some of the big organizations rely. That's one of the reasons which I think I say, we're sitting the guys on when we're going to talk about bishlakim. Can we rely on, can we eat potato chips, which has an OU? Yeah? Now, all ingredients are fine. Can you rely? I had a shallow when I was, for 2 years, I was giving in anash.org question and answers the Sundays. So I'm living over there. Can I ask geben? I don't have nothing to do for my children. You know, anash. Can I give OU potato chips? And the answer was, yes, you could give it. I explained it over there, if anybody remembers that shiurim in anash.org. Someone saying in Hilchs Bishlak, my ganz, Poskem. Potatoes is oil shulch manuch. So potatoes, there is such a thing as it is bishlakim. So now, by the way, you have companies which you could buy cooked potatoes in a can, yeah, in sort of one of the national organizations, and people use it. Wo ist der Heter? Bishlakim. Echt Bishlakim. Moshe hat a Heter, as in companies, there's no Bishlakim. Weil the ganze in his chasnas. Chasnas is in person. Would somebody rely on this hekshe, on this killer? The Moshe had gesagt, the killer, because you have to rely for the ganze Klal Yisrael when it comes to, so the OU misses unemu, which I perfect, I can't getan as chazushuvam sein. But would you rely on potatoes, cooked potatoes to buy? Well, this is a company, nobody's gonna buy. Noch Sinshid is gonna buy. But a lot of us, we don't know, and we can buy it, and we can eat it. It's echt bishlak. This is one thing. Now, let's go a step further. Potatoes is oil al shechem anuchem is do bishlak. What is potato chips? Now, does potato chips say oil al shechem anuchem? No. It's not, it's nicht an gesagt, as when President Trump, even his president, Trump, he's not gonna, by a presidential, what is it called, Seder, dinner, this could stay. He should make a potato chip. Now, in his office, all of them will, even him. You know, he'll put. Okay. So that's a bigger problem. You make a big problem. Then you make a big problem.
Listen, just wait 4 more years.
Okay. Or what is today's day? How do we judge? We say if you're going to put it by chasen. If you don't put it by chasen, it's not oil shechem anuchem. Okay. The question is like this: potatoes is oil shechem anuchem, but potato chips is not oil shechem anuchem. Do we go on potatoes because potatoes is oil shechem anuchem, or do we go on the final product? The way how you prepare this food is not oil shechem anuchem. Now there's a big machlokes achronim. Some achronim hold. You look at every machal. This machal is not oil shechem anuchem as it is. You can mishlak. Other bachronim so no. If the potato has ugekochte potato is it gewan user, so how could the potato is oil shechem anuchem? Because you cut it thin. So hab ich gesagt, so es du passt mir keine lekan. So passt mir keine lekan. Es du halt, as nicht kann beschlagen. A schliech was hat nicht zu geben nothing for his child. Kann sich verlassen, you know, he's Bura so a person is on of the veig and he has a laced potato chip and has a yesh mukul. But when you are in Kingston, New York, and you could buy Liebers or Shufra, it costs a tire. But Schalimot willst du auch a tire, weil du willst ehrliche Kinder. Why shouldn't it be machbar? Okay, that's in a nutshell what we said, but there's a lot more what we have to say, but again, the Zeiger stops us. But I we got the concept that what entails a commercial kitchen, and a lot of these things which we mentioned entails also a private kitchen. You got to be on top, and in Zwilmer Huben, Chassidische Kinder, in Kashes Achila, like the Rebbe writes, idle toes a mensch. And if you eat something which is non-kosher, is metamtem as a lev. Nobody wants timtem a lev. By the way, it says that Kreisi Pleisi writes, and I'm going to finish with this. Kreisi Pleisi writes, why do we see our children today's day come for tempt cap? Why is it? So the Kreisi, since we see as the oil mit ungeheim zu essen fruit and vegetables and mit schmack mit auf bedikes teluam, also ich schreibe the Kreisi, how much? 250 years ago, or 300? How much the Kreisi? Almost 300 years ago. Yeah? 250, with the Beshemtev. It's over 250 years. Schreibt sagt man, ungeheim Michael zu sein, ist mit Tamte, man moiches leif mit teluam, wegen dem kicken aus in seine Kinder. Also ich schreibe the Kreisi. Und da habe ich helfen, so man kann sein Ugehitten, was man esst, was man trinkt, in hoben ehrliche jüdische, chassidische Kinder, weil du die Sode, die Säudes von uns. Ins Leben, du von den Kindern. Good night.